Good afternoon. Today I want to talk about something that is needed. And that topic is kindness. From what I've seen, there have been a lot of misconceptions when it comes to kindness. The first one that I want to talk about is this idea that kindness means that you allow people to do what they want. That's not kindness. That's being passive. To be kind is to be assertive, is to be nurturing, and it's to be understanding. So let's continue with this. The idea of being passive. This is when you allow people to essentially use you as a doormat. Being passive is when you allow people to talk to you any kind of way. Being passive is having a thought or a need and not saying anything because you're concerned with what someone else is going to think and or say. Kindness, which, I want to take this to the next misconception, is this idea that kindness is weakness. That could not be farther from the truth. Let me tell you something. To be kind is to be assertive. Wrap that right back around. And to be assertive is anything but weak. So an example would be, if you are saying something to me and I don't like it, being passive would be me just staying quiet and allowing you to say it. Me being assertive would be me speaking up for myself and saying, hey, I don't really like the way that you're speaking to me right now. I would like you to talk to me differently. Right? If you speak to me differently, then we can continue. However, if you do not, I cannot carry on with this conversation. That's it. That is being assertive. Being assertive, it just means that you are expressing your needs without violating the needs of someone else. So one more time with that one. Being assertive means expressing your needs, telling other people what you need. I need you to discontinue talking to me like this. For me to say that to someone, it does not infringe on their right to live. I am not violating their needs. Because if your need is to harm me in some way, well, then you're not really a safe person for me to be around anyway. And that's how this works. Kindness is, I can see someone struggling, recognize that they are struggling, and either offer myself if I have it, or be with them in that moment and not judging them, not being cruel towards them. That is kindness. If I see someone who needs a meal and I happen to have a granola bar, giving it to that person is an act of kindness. I'm not expecting anything in return, which is another piece. To be kind to others is to give without this expectation of something coming back to you. So if I'm helping someone get across the street, it's not because I'm doing so because I want someone that's on that other side to say, oh, that was so nice of you. That's not kindness. Kindness is doing things that are genuine for the purpose of just doing it. That is kindness. Now, that also does not mean that you are not able to defend yourself. I remember right before my dad died, the last conversation that him and I had, we were actually talking about this idea of kindness. I was having a situation and, I feel grateful that a lot of people will use the word kind when they describe me. I feel very kind and fortunate because of that. And with that, sometimes people think that because I'm kind, that I won't advocate for myself. And I remember telling that to my dad, and he said, you know, it's funny. People always think you're nice until you're not. And that meant a lot to me because he was acknowledging in that moment that people sometimes will take that kindness for weakness, but that does not mean that I have to be weak. I can be kind and also advocate for myself in those moments where it's necessary. The basic tenet of being kind is the lack of judgment. When you meet other people, you don't know their story. You do not know what other people are going through. I've sat in a room with people that were in hate groups, that were in domestic terrorist organizations. And I sat with them without judgment because my goal was to assist them in getting through to their personal goals, whatever that meant for them, not what it meant for me. And even in that, with those major differences, we were able to get a common thing accomplished. So with that, kindness is not just being kind to the people that it's easy to be kind to, not just the people that think, look, act like you. Being kind is being able to reach out to the people that are vastly different without judgment. Doesn't mean being passive, but in an assertive manner, allow yourself to be kind because you'll never know, and you never know who needs it. Out of my whole time in doing therapy, that has been my biggest takeaway. There are times when I think that the work that I do doesn't matter. I might be having a moment. We're all entitled to our moments, me included. I am human. And then I'll talk to a client that says, you know, that thing that you said to me so-and-so session ago, that was really important to me because I don't really have a lot of people who are kind enough to be honest with me and also encourage me at the same time. Those comments are my reminder how important being kind is, even when that means being assertive and confronting some things. All right, so this is just one video on this idea of kindness. I have an idea and a belief that is going to come back because we are in a time right now where being kind has been lost. I don't know. It somehow became less important. And in my time on this earth, whatever time I have on this earth, I pray that I can do my piece in giving back and showing someone who needs it a little bit more kindness. So thank you for taking this time with me. I pray you all are taking care of yourselves. I pray you all are working on being open, whatever that looks like for you. And take a moment to be a little kind also to yourself when needed. Thank you so much. Peace and love.